TV viewers and subscribers, welcome to another episode, and in this one we're going to do a preview for the Jamaica versus Bermuda game. Now Jamaica, they're still licking their wounds from that defeat to Curacao a couple of days ago, and they'll be looking to bounce back against Bermuda team, a Bermuda team that quite frankly cannot win a game. And if Jamaica were to go into this game and to get anything less than 3 points, I know the fans will be super disappointed. But what are we to expect, and what's the talking points going into this particular game? I think we should backtrack a little bit to talk about the previous game, because there were a number of no-shows from the Jamaican national team as it relates to players that were included in the starting lineup who quite frankly didn't show up. And as a result, a lot of the Jamaican fans at home, they were left disappointed, to say the least. There were some who are already calling for the coach to be sacked, and there are others who are basically boycotting the game tomorrow at the National Stadium. What are my thoughts on this? I think as far as support goes, I expect the Reggae Boys fans to go out there and to support their team through thick and thin, because at the end of the day, whoever is the coach of this national team, whether it is Jaime Hallgrimson or coach Steve McLaren, when everything is said and done, these coaches are going to pack their bags and they're going to go back home. And that will leave us, the fans, still with our team. So I think regardless of the situation, we need to go out there and we need to support the team. As far as Steve McLaren goes, I don't think I've been fully convinced as yet. I think the past year or so has been a tricky one, because I think coming in after Coach Jaime Hallgrimson, we had a high expectation, because if we're to be frank, Jaime Hallgrimson was maybe twice the coach Steve McLaren is, and I know Steve McLaren has all these big experience in England and what have you, but we're not seeing it with the Jamaican national team. And an argument can be made that Jaime Hallgrimson had a better chemistry with the team, and as a matter of fact, of the last three coaches, or the last two coaches, well, the last three coaches, we can outright say Steve McLaren may very well be the worst of the three, because in my opinion, even Theodore Whitmore was a better coach with the national team than Steve McLaren. But I'll leave that over to you to debate or to share your thoughts on it. But that's my opinion. Anyway, back to the game. Bermuda, they haven't won a game so far. They scored 2 goals against Curacao when they played Curacao. That game ended 3-2. And I think this is the team that all the teams in the group are beating. So Trinidad beat them, Jamaica beat them, and Curacao beat them. They're currently at the base of the table. They're yet to they're yet to register any points on the board. And at this point in time, I think Bermuda, they're only playing for pride. The Bermuda team, I think they're going out there and they're representing their country, and the honor that comes with representing their country, I think, is enough for a lot of these players, because they're already resigned to the fact that they will not be qualifying for this World Cup 2026. So them coming to the National Stadium, although Jamaica will think this will be a straightforward game and it will be a straightforward win, I think we should never underestimate the Bermuda team. And as a matter of fact, we should never underestimate any team for that matter when it comes down to World Cup qualifying, because even though the odds of Bermuda qualifying for the World Cup, they're next to none right now, I still think Bermuda would want to get points on the board and they want to go out swinging, because after all, that's what football is about. And a lot of times we see it even with our club teams, where teams cannot win the league, but they do what they need to do to ensure that they have a say in who wins it. And right now, Jamaica is quite frankly dependent on results elsewhere. They'll be hoping Trinidad beats Curacao, and they'll be going into this game against Bermuda and thinking, hey, we win this and Trinidad beats Curacao, then the pendulum is back in our favor. So I think we've seen and we've said this so often, where Jamaica is depending on other results to go their way in order for them to either advance or to do whatever. But against Bermuda at the National Stadium, I think based on quality of the players and based on what we see when the Jamaican national team went to Bermuda, I think this should be a straightforward win for the national team. I think if Steve McLaren cannot go out there and outplay this Bermuda team, I don't even expect him to just win. I expect him to outplay this Bermuda team, because we've seldom seen him outplay teams with this Jamaica national setup. yeah, we've seldom seen him outplay teams, and there is not one game that is considered tricky or considered maybe a 50-50 or a game that has people on the edge where we say, okay, this game could go either way. That ended up in Jamaica's favor. I think every time Coach Steve McLaren goes up against a half-decent coach, he struggles, and the Jamaican flaws, or the flaws in the Jamaican national team, they're exploited. And in this particular game against Bermuda, because of the superior talent that the Jamaican national team has, I expect the individual talent and the individual rescuers to come out once more, as has been the case over the last 6 months or so. I think every time we get a moment of brilliance from one of our players, the results come in our favor, and we kind of lose track of the actual problems that the national team is facing. Kind of like paper over the cracks, as some people love to call it. But in this game, I think Coach Steve McLaren will not have a lot of work to do as far as coaching goes, and the players that he has at his disposal should be able to go out there and to get the job done at the national stadium. Players to look out for from a Jamaican perspective, I won't even go out there and give you any names right now, because again, this is a Bermuda team that, player to player, the Jamaican team is superior. So I'm not going to do any comparisons, no comparative analysis. I'm just going to turn it over to you, the viewers and subscribers, to share what your thoughts are on this particular game, and what are your expectations / predictions for Jamaica versus Bermuda, which will take place tomorrow. No, is it 7 p.m.? 7 p.m. Jamaica time, yeah. So 7 p.m. Jamaica time at the National Stadium. So let me know who you're looking forward to seeing most. We saw Dujon Whisper Richards come on in the last part of that game against Curacao. Didn't look as sharp in my opinion, but hopefully he would have gelled those past 2 training sessions a little bit more with the national team, and we will see a better showing from Richards in this one. We also didn't see Damian Lowe play in that game against Curacao. I would hope Steve McLaren reintroduces Damian Lowe back to the national team at the National Stadium. He is a fan favorite, although a lot of fans are caught between a rock and a hard place when it comes down to Damian Lowe. But we can't question his heart. We can't question what he brings to the national team, and especially at the National Stadium, you want your vice captain Damian Lowe to be on that pitch. But as I said, we're going to leave it at that. Let's turn it over to you, the Halftime TV viewers and subscribers. Let's hear your thoughts below. And for those in Canada who are celebrating Thanksgiving today, happy Thanksgiving. For the rest of y'all, have a wonderful week. We'll talk tomorrow evening as we will be doing the watch along. Until next time.